Hey, how's it going, guys? Got my Radiant Kami deck list here for you today. Now, this is a deck that I have been I don't know. I've played this deck multiple times. I've had many different builds for it, and this is kind of the one that I've theory crafted mainly for the current meta. I've played a handful of games on it. My buddy is a bit more of a Kami player himself. Derek, he loves combative Kami, and he was a big fan of Radiant Kami too. Another deck that he really liked was Perceptive Kami before the Mischievous drop, which that is another Kami deck that I'm sure I'll be posting up at some point as Mischievous Kami. I think that deck isn't quite as strong now that Absorption Drill got nerfed, but it's still something that can be pretty fun and pull out some really stupid wins. But anyway, down to just the Radiant Kami here. As you can see, generally speaking, most Kami decks don't really try to level. Now, I have built versions that do level, and I don't necessarily think that those are bad. But this particular version, I think, is going to just play more on the strength of the drill tutor that he has on his level 1 here, shuffling balls away, which Radiant Mastery is great for. The big synergy with Kami and Radiant is that you always have an Earth Dragon Ball to be able to just shuffle for that power. But anyway, back to the actual deck list itself. We start off here with the 7 Dragon Balls, Earth Dragon Balls, all of which, I think they're just staple for Kami. I think you need to play all 7 in any Kami deck. Personally, it's just no reason not to. Namekian Wish, great card. Kami's not much of a fighter. You can build him to be more kind of an energy beats deck, I feel, or even, I suppose you can do hybrid beats, but I think it's best if you have ways to control combat, which Namekian Wish is great, or Rejuve. Targeted Rejuve, which is super, super awesome for this deck particularly, which I'll get to why when we get to some of those specific cards. Next we have the drills. 2 Namekian Combat Drill. Now this is an awesome, awesome drill. This card completely can win you a matchup because once you get knocked to 0, it starts giving you stages back like mad. I think it's a good 2-of. It was a hard to fit a 2-of for a while. I had to let Derek play this deck, and Derek being more of a Namekian player, the first thing, Namekian and also Kami player, the first thing he said is, why were there so many damn attacks? Well, I used to have more attacks than this in the deck. He's like, Kami doesn't attack, and I'm like, you're right. I cut out probably 6 attacks out of this deck. I cut out Namekian Training Ball, Namekian Reinforced, I believe it's the Reinforced, something. Damn, I can't really remember. It's one of the newer Namekian cards. It's you banish a Dragon Ball that you control on hit to make the mill for. I wanted to try it out, and it didn't make the cut. Training Ball didn't make the cut either, because it's just an aggro card with no endurance. Doesn't give you a ball. I mean, really, Kami just wants to kind of play the passive game, occasionally whip out some attacks. Mostly he's using his level 1 power, and he's just passively playing the Dragon Balls to do most of his damage. So, things like Combat Drill are really great, just to help you against aggro. We have Flex Drill. I think this card could definitely come and go in the deck. I think it's warranted enough, with enough mill out there, no matter what, you're running into Mischievous deck. Sure, an extra mill, a combat doesn't seem like a lot, but against some of those decks too that are running Black Taunt, orange combative decks running Destruction, I can't really think of too many other mill decks right now. They're not as popular as they were, but I think it's still worth slotting in at least one, and you can always banish it from your hand to gain stages. So again, stage meta right now, these cards right here keep your stages going really, really hard. Next we have a bunch of these fancy Namekian drills. We have Manipulating Drill, awesome card. Manipulation Drill, sorry, an awesome card. Gives you a life card mod since you do have the God Trait as Kami. Also, it allows you to play a little more loosely with those Dragon Balls that you're kicking out, and gives you a little bit of pilot control. So, really, really nice card there. And what's nice is even if your opponent does take the Dragon Ball, you stop them from getting the immediate effects, and then Kami can just shuffle anybody's Earth Dragon Ball back into the owner's life to get the drill, which is really great. We have Aggressive Drill. In case any of your balls get banished, you can kick this out. If you want some board control and some anger hate, it does that too. Really, really great card. Empowered Drill. Perfect card. I'd love to run this at 2. Right now it's at a 1. Just mostly spacing. But it helps you recycle some of the attacks if you really need them in a certain matchup. Maybe like Max Wolf for a certain matchup. Maybe you have to go more aggressive and you're going to put the force pushes back in. Surge is generally banished after use, but hey, you know, if for some reason one hits your pile and you want it to help you ball out or something. Recycle grabs in case you need board control. Double strike for board control. You know, really great card. But just looking at the top two and entering helps you a lot against aggro. Even control to an extent, just helping you not dead draw. Awesome. And it also helps you, again, everything on it gives you stages. I mean, we have 4 drills here that can all help you deal with a physical matchup. Super awesome. Next, we'll go like this. We got Assistance Drill at a 1. Maybe you could make it a 2. It's really great when you're controlling all these Dragon Balls. When you're able to kick at least 1 out a turn, it's Luminous Drill. Definitely worth a run. Guardian Drill, awesome card. Could maybe hit a 2. I don't know. Really, all these drills are going to kind of probably stay at 1s, but, you know, we could always find a second spot for a couple of these depending on how good they're doing in the matchup. But the bread and butter of Kami, probably should have this at 2. Might see it get bumped to 2. Probably will. I'm just going to probably end up cutting either an attack card or maybe one of these event cards here. But super great. Gives you the passive mill on top of Kami's level 1. Can just do some shenanigans, stupid shenanigans at the end of the game when you just drop a couple of Dragon Balls with this out to mill your opponent passively, then go to their turn and nail them for another 3, 4, 5 cards. Really great card. And we have Hospitality Drill. A must-have in this deck. Super easy to proc with both your Mastery and your level 1. Gives you extra cards in the deck and a little bit of hand filter. A really good card. Now we'll go on to some of the events in the deck. So right up here we have, we'll start with this Namekian Inheritance here. At a 1-of, honestly this card might see it cut entirely, but I've always liked this card, but I'm really not going to be the main player of this deck, for the most part, other than maybe for testing against myself. So it's kind of going to see if Derek likes this card, but really great card either way. You might want to maybe use a ball 2 in mid-combat, being able to kick it out with a Mastery, and then use this. Really great. Give it to them, and then use one of your crit effect cards to just double up a ball 2 on someone, or a ball 3 on someone, or ball 4 if you're against an ally matchup. Really nice card. We have Tug of War at 1. Could always see a cut. I like Tug of War, so I always put it in like all my decks initially. Very good card. Ally hate, Psycho Anger hate. Shuffles your deck. Shuffling your deck's always nice. And 2 Namekian Chase. You know, just more anger control. I think it's a really good card. Kami doesn't really care about attacking so much, so it's perfect. Next we have the block line. So we're going to start with 3 Namekian Buffer. This is in it because of the endurance, and it gives you 3 Rejuve. Super tanky card, even against a physical aggro. If it's in your deck, it's really nice. Crossguard. This is back to Wish being really good, is Wish having targeted Rejuve. We don't have a lot of targeted Rejuve in this deck. There are only a handful of cards that actually Rejuve, other than like your level 1. I suppose Hospitality Drill. Guardian Drill does help you get these off too, but which is another reason maybe Guardian Drill should make it 2. Probably will make it 2, we'll see. But Crossguard here, when you rejuvenate it, you could be on a pass and rejuvenate it, and you get a Style Drill, which this only grabbing Style Drills is maybe another reason not to run Deflection, but we'll see in testing and kind of what we feel like this deck is going to be running into. But really bread and butter card of the deck. Awesome, help you get new drills. 4-arm block, stops your balls from being captured. Really good card. Clamp, recyclable physical block that goes right back in your deck, and crazy endurance. That's another thing, is all these blocks have endurance, so no matter what the matchup is, if you're getting smacked off your life deck, it's going to be hard to crit your Dragon Balls no matter what. Cover, most in here because we need another block and a stage gain and knee block. Force block and knee block, you know, knee block doesn't really have a spot in this because we're not rejuving a lot. Force block could be a card in here, but it doesn't have endurance, so I guess we'll see. Could always make the spot though. We have Namekian Hybrid Defense, again targeted rejuve, super good. Staple Namekian card in like every Namekian deck ever, so really nice card. Confrontation at a 3, pick and discard out of your opponent's hand, always good. Sphere at 1 and a Halt at 1. Halt, super stupid card. I hate this card. This is one of my most hated cards in the game probably, next to Deflection Drill. Really dumb card in my opinion. I really hate that Supreme Guy gets to use it and Kami gets to use it. You can sphere this card and it doesn't matter. No matter what, your opponent, you get to have this card back into your hand if you've played it, because it is a parenthetical shuffle in your life deck. Super stupid. Also, it stops setup cards. Super strong. Very good card. And because this cycles itself back into your deck, and because it does the same job as Sphere, we have just 1 Sphere for that reason. Times Warriors Tool. staple. Now onto the attack line. The Namekian Surge, awesome card. Awesome card. Helps you fuel ball, kick out balls for some more passive mill in combat, but also, helps you hit that three Dragon Ball threshold for the life card modifier on your mastery really easily. And it shuffles the balls back in your deck at the end of combat, which, hey, lets you play them again. Really nice. We want to be playing the balls a lot in this deck. Force Push. Very good card. It's hard to stop, deals a lot of damage, and it has a little bit of pile control, but it also has endurance. That's another thing. Surge, endurance too, Maxwell, endurance, Resourceful Shot, endurance, all of our blocks, endurance, other than hybrid, Double Strike, endurance, grab, endurance. There's a ton of endurance in this deck. Really awesome. Maxwell, like I said, this is just the Namekian head knock, ton of anger control. You gotta have it at 3. Yeah, it does cost stages, and a lot of the anger decks are physical right now, but you have so many blocks at your disposal. You have stage gain on combat drill and empowering drill and deflection if it's in your hand. It shouldn't be too hard to be able to get this off when you need it. Resourceful Shot at a 2, just more control, more board control between killing allies and making it so your opponent maybe doesn't ever even want to take your balls should they. Just helps you a lot out, and just letting him sit in the pile for when you need him. Super strong card. I kind of think it's a little too strong, but that's also me. I don't know. Very good card though. We have Double Strike at 2. This spot could maybe get played around, but I think Double Strike is really good. I know Mark Bulger had his Radiant Communal list, and he was saying how he really missed having Double Strike, or wish he had Double Strike, and I totally agree with the sentiment. This card made it in here. Very good ad, I think. I'm not going to regret it. Also, we have Namekian Grab at 2. You don't always want to see this card, and destroying really isn't really that strong as it used to be, because there's a lot of ways to recur board and allies, but it's 3 endurance, does lower anger if it hits. It is a nice card to have just some sort of board hate when you need it. And Kami's Focus Beam at 1. This card maybe could hit at 2. This card might not even be needed in the deck, but just to have it at 1, you can always pull off the classic combo of giving your opponent a Guardian Drill, and then proceeding to use Deflection Drill to bounce all of the mill that you would be getting off your Guardian Drill back at your opponent. That's like a cute little combo that's probably never really going to happen. It takes a lot of it takes enough setup that, considering you cannot tutor Deflection Drill at all, because there's no, tutors other than Kami's level 1. Or sorry, not Kami's level 1. There's literally no tutors for that card in the deck, which is another reason why I might see a cut, but it's still like a little cheese combo, I suppose, that I figured I'd point out. But either way, it's still a solid tutor no matter what, gets you card right away. If you can stack up your mastery buff with, like, let's say Surge and just the mastery effect itself, this can come in pretty hot. You throw this in with, like, ball 1 out, +2 modifier on the mastery, can come in for, respectable, 6, 7 life cards. That's really not too bad. A drill that didn't make it in here, Heritage Drill. If you're not trying to do a level Kami, I don't think it's worth it. Like I said, Guardian Drill could probably get a bump to, Assistance Drill could maybe see a bump to. Really, it's kind of figuring out which drills really work the best for the meta. I could see Deflection Drill getting bumped because the lack of combative I've seen, a lot of lack of mill decks in general, like hard mill. There's still your cell decks out there, like Knowledge Cell and Mischievous Cell. So I think it's worth running at least a 1 of, but you also have balls in the deck anyway, which kind of make mill weak. So I don't know. It's a card that could see a cut, but this is the current list right now. Like I said, I'm mainly not the player of this deck. It's mostly been my buddy Derek that I'll test with, but it is a deck that I will play time to time against myself just to kind of get some games in. And it is a deck that I do like to kind of look at other people's lists and kind of maybe make some tweaks to mine. But anyway, I hope this kind of gives a good idea. I think Kami's less aggro-y, or at least if you're going to camp. I think a camping 1 is maybe the most consistent way to play him. He's a little less aggro-y. This honestly might be too many attacks in the deck right now, I think. I know some people run Sinchoke and like Namekian Salvo, like big energies, Training Ball. I don't think he needs it in this build. Like I said, this build is a very passive, drill-heavy build. Maybe if you were more of like a leveling Kami that was trying to get up to his upper levels, that was running minimal drills, I could see it. But for this build, I think camping 1 is pretty much the best option you're going to have, and you're rarely ever going to want to go off 1. So, But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it gives some helpful insight about kind of maybe how Kami plays, and maybe how maybe you want to try to build your own Kami. Maybe you have better suggestions and cards. You know, like I said, some of these cards, example my events, are very subjective about what you feel like you're going to play into, even down to my drill count. So hopefully this helps, guys. Thanks for watching.